Allegations of sex offenses are among the most serious crimes in Kansas and Missouri. In fact, a defendant in Kansas with no criminal history whatsoever faces a longer prison sentence for electronic solicitation than for involuntary manslaughter while under the influence of alcohol. Moreover, with the passage of Jessica's Law in Kansas, penalties for sexual offenses involving minors have increased dramatically. Conviction for certain sex offenses with a minor can bring a sentence of life in prison with no possibility of parole. With more stringent penalties being imposed, a false claim or a single error in judgment can result in a devastating prison sentence and could require lifelong registration as a sex offender. If you're facing serious sexual charges, you need the representation of an aggressive criminal defense attorney with experience handling sex offenses. Effective defense of sex offense cases requires exhaustive pretrial investigation of the facts and circumstances unique to each situation, along with thorough pretrial motions practice to limit the scope of evidence presented at trial. Successful trial of sex offenses requires relentless and often unpleasant cross-examination of the complaining witness. Not all lawyers are equally capable of handling these very serious and difficult cases. When the facts and circumstances of your case require independent private investigation or the contribution of expert witnesses and testimony, I work with only the very best in the industry. Perhaps the most overlooked element of successful defense of sex crimes is jury selection. The finest cross-examination and argument will fall on deaf ears if defense counsel fails to conduct effective voir dire of the jury panel. Oftentimes, the contribution of an experienced jury consultant can be the difference between conviction and freedom in sex offense cases. When your freedom or the freedom of a loved one is on the line, do not presume that any and all lawyers are equally capable of providing the highest level of representation and defense. Interview prospective lawyers carefully. Ask each lawyer you meet if he or she has ever handled a case involving charges similar to the charges you face. Ask how many of these cases were tried to a jury. Ask to see copies of motions and pleadings that the lawyer has filed in other similar cases. If you or a loved one is facing charges involving sex offenses, you need to know that your lawyer has the ability and the experience to prepare and present the very best possible defense on your behalf.